As fresh technologies come out and people's tastes change, so do the ways that homes are built. Divine luxuriers, get ready to be inspired as we look at the 15 most modern homes. Number 15. Villa Ypsilon, Greece. Lhasa Architects built Villa Ypsilon in Greece in 2017. It is a beautiful future home. It's on a hilltop in Finakounda, Greece, and was built to fit in with its surroundings as much as possible. It has a total floor space of 1,600 square feet and it's split into two parts. There's a more private living area with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, all of which have amazing views to the east of the property. The kitchen and living room are in a common area that faces south and has easy access to the building's 3 courtyards. The building is made of a concrete shell with a planted roof and has many modern features, such as a cross-ventilation strategy that reduces the need for air conditioning units. Everything in the villa is custom designed and new construction techniques were developed to create pool. All of the materials such as the concrete and marble were sourced locally too, making this home one of the most environmentally luxurious buildings. Number 14. Capitol Hill Villa, Russia. The Capitol Hill residence, which is on a hillside in Barvika, Russia, was designed by the famous architect Zaha Hadid at an estimated cost of $140 million. It is one of the most expensive homes in the world. Since land prices in the area are low, this shows how much technology and creativity went into building the house. Set on 4 floors, it has more than 28,000 square feet of living space. The master suite is at the top of a concrete spire 72 feet above the ground. Residents can use a glass elevator or stairs to get there. The lowest level has a swimming pool, fitness suite, and entertainment lounge. The entrance on the first floor leads directly to the guest and children's bedrooms, as well as a library and another entertainment lounge. Vladislav Doronin, a billionaire who owns the house, had it built to be private and to take advantage of the beautiful views of the countryside. He's also a big fan of high-end food, so the kitchen is better equipped than those in the most expensive restaurants in the world. From the outside, the Capitol Hill Villa looks like nothing else. With its glazed walls, uneven lines, and strange shape, it almost looks like a spaceship or a boat that has fallen on the ground. Number 13. Sky Garden House, Singapore. The Sky Garden House is an example of how houses of the future will try to leave as little of an effect on their surroundings as possible. Designers are going to great lengths to make them almost invisible in their neighborhoods so that they have much less of an effect on the environment. The Sky Garden House is a great example of this. It was built by Goose Architects in and is on Sentosa Island, which is near Singapore. The house is almost 10,000 square feet of living space, but you wouldn't know it from looking at it because the roofs of each of the 3 levels are covered in gardens. The house also has a stone-lined swimming pool with a perspex wall that can be seen through from the lowest level, a winding wooden staircase to move between floors, and a modern curved roof at the top with beautiful views of the bay. This house not only uses parts of a building that are often left empty, but it's also a great way to get a lot more out of a small piece of land. Because there isn't much room on the island, houses are built very close to each other. This gives the people who live there access to a much bigger outdoor yard space than they would have otherwise. Number 12. High Desert House, Joshua Tree National Park. One of the most futuristic and hidden homes in the world is in the Joshua Tree National Park. It was designed by Kendrick Banks Kellogg and is on the edge of the park. It has 5,000 square feet of living space and is made up of 26 freestanding concrete columns that look like giant rib bones. Each column is set at least 7 feet into the bedrock to make sure it stays stable. The columns are linked by sand-blasted glass panels that let in light during the day and give an amazing view of the night sky from inside. Everything in the 5-story building was made with materials from the area, and the arches and shapes are the same inside and out. It took Kellogg 5 years to finish the building, which he did. However, it took another 5 years for artisanal designer John Virgin to handcraft the furniture and other decorative elements for the interior. When it was finally finished it became known as one of the most creative, forward-thinking, and grand homes in the world. While it will never be copied exactly, there are many design techniques and ideas that will be used in other places. Number 11. Noem Spaceship House, La Moraleja, Spain. NASA and other space agencies around the world have spent a lot of time and money in the last few decades trying to figure out how people would behave if they lived in spaceships for long periods of time. They could have just waited, though, because some designs for futuristic homes are based on UFOs. The Noem Spaceship House is one of the most impressive. It was built in 2015 on the hills of La Moraleja, Spain, for a film director who is a huge fan of science fiction and wanted to live in a home that looked like it was from the future and gave him a view of the whole hilltop. It was built as quickly as possible without disturbing the peaceful environment. Most of the house was built in a factory and then just put together on site. The galvanized steel exterior and insulated wood underneath keep the home cool in the summer and warm in the winter. 13-foot-tall struts are used to suspend the house in the air to improve the views, and the former airport stairway is used to get in and out. As you might expect, technology is at the heart of this home, which is controlled by smartphone. Number 10. H3 Greece. Built by the 314 architecture firm on the outskirts of Athens, Greece. H3 is a futuristic family home that makes the most of its 75,000 square feet of land. Most of the building is held up by a number of pillars that make it look like it's floating in the air. The building is also environmentally friendly. It uses water to cool the rooms and geothermal energy to heat them. It has almost 11,000 square feet of living space, which is spread out over 3 floors. There are 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a large kitchen, but the best thing about this house is that it has a lot of fun things to do. There is an outdoor area around the main pool, as well as a workout suite, a squash court, a sauna, and 2 guest rooms that are connected. Because it can make its own electricity, the house uses very little power from the national grid. The roof of the first level is covered with grass to make even more room outside. It's a big step toward having a place of residence that can take care of itself and is also very attractive. Number 9. Trizarca, Las Vegas. Trizarca's home in Las Vegas was designed by Assemblage Studio and has 8,000 square feet of living space. The idea was for it to fit in with its surroundings and use a wide variety of materials that could be found nearby. The structure of the house is meant to look like the layers of the nearby Red Rock Mountains, so the colors and materials used for the basement are very different from the rest of the house. What's unusual about Trizarca is that the top floors are surrounded by faceted steel screens with a fine mesh on the top floors. This isn't just for the looks, though. It helps to diffuse the sunlight so that all of the rooms get enough light, and it keeps the building cool and private even on the hottest days in Nevada without the need for energy-hungry air conditioners. Number 8. Los Terrenos. One thing we want from our homes is a sense of privacy where we can shut out the rest of the world. Different styles do this in different ways, but maybe the most private and quiet places you could ever live in are in the mountains. It was built by the Los Terrenos in Mexico and built in 2016 and was designed by Tachana Bilbao. The 1,500 square foot property is unlike any other because the outside is covered in mirrored glass, earth, and clay bricks, making it almost unnoticeable until you get close to it. There are 2 buildings on the site that are arranged around a curved pool. The best part is that the panels are actually one-way mirrors, so when you're inside you can look straight out. It's like having your own private space in the forest and gives you a chance to be at one with nature, and you can't get anywhere else. The home was originally meant to be a vacation home, but as more people have heard about it, other designs for primary residences based on it have been made. Number 7. Shell House, Japan. Tono Mirai architects built a small house in the Nagano prefecture of Japan that looks like it's always been there. The owner wanted a place that blended in with its surroundings and was as eco-friendly as possible, so they used traditional methods and techniques to build it, but made sure it was ready for a modern and future lifestyle. The organically shaped building has a shell-like exterior that curves around the north and west sides to block wind from the south and east. The south and east sides of the house are open, though, so the residents can feel like they are part of nature. A lot of work went into making sure the house has a little impact on the environment as possible. It was made from FSC timber, local earth, and was built by hand. Number 6. UFO House, Bruneck, Italy. Stefan Hithaler, a German builder, heard about a chalet in Italy that had been built near the border with Austria, but hadn't been lived in for a few years. It was built in 1973, but instead of letting it go to waste, he chose to fix it up. Locals call that building that came out of it the UFO house, and it used a number of methods that many homes of the future will probably use as well. The main one was reusing an old house instead of starting from scratch. It was built as a 5-sided prism on top of support struts to keep it out of the snow. There are 2 beds built into the main structure, one on each side of the main room. Hithaler upgraded the insulation, which now keeps most of the heat inside. The addition of windows, LED strips, and a completely redesigned balcony make the house feel bigger and brighter. Number 5. House on the Flight of Birds, Portugal. The architect, Bernardo Rodrigues, made a house on the Flight of Birds, which is on the northern side of the island of St. Michael in Portugal's Azores island group. Rainstorms and strong winds happen often on the island, so the design of the house started with a big wall to protect the open parts of the house from the weather. On the ground floor of the house, there are patios and gardens with glass walls and roofs that give great views of the area and keep the rain out. The upper floor, where the bedrooms are, is much more closed off. Traditional features like high chimneys and a double-height living room were added, while the use of curved lines gave the house a futuristic look. The main part of the house is curved like a bird in flight, which was done for both aesthetic and practical reasons. This helps the wind blow straight over the house instead of getting caught on the edges and funneling towards the living room. Number 4. Comb House, Egypt. The Comb House is a small, unusual house that was built by the Egyptian architect Karim Rashid. It can be seen in Cairo, Egypt, and almost every part of it is meant to be as green as possible. All of the home's lighting comes from low-energy LED lights. Solar panels are used to heat the water, and all of the home's gray water is recycled. Radiant floor heating is used to warm the building, and the latest insulation design makes sure that most of this heat stays inside the house. The outside of the house is made of reclaimed wood fins that are set at angles to create privacy, and the inside is divided into 4 different themed zones for playing, eating, sleeping, and cleaning. Being eco-friendly doesn't have to be boring, and the Comb House is proof of this. There is a skylight in the middle of the roof, which not only lets in natural light but also collects rainwater that goes into the plunge pool inside. There is also what the designers call a kinetic, levitating art sculpture, which spins when the wind blows over the house and creates more energy that can be used. Number 3. The Stab Residence, Arizona. One of the most futuristic homes in the US, it was finished in 2013 and looks out over the McDowell Mountains in Arizona. It has just over 3,000 square feet of living space and was designed to make the most of a small plot in a busy neighborhood while giving a sense of privacy and seclusion. The architects say that the other homes in the area are built more for show than for comfort, and the Stab Residence tries to fix this. The pool area and backyard are safe spaces, and everything on the second level is set up to take advantage of the amazing views in the distance. As soon as you walk in, you feel like you're on your own because you have to walk through a field of desert grasses to get on an area between 2 stone walls. The Stab Residence has all the features you'd expect from a modern or futuristic home. It shows that you can have your own room even in a busy neighborhood. Number 2. Modular House. One problem that everyone has with their homes is that the plan can't be changed much without a lot of work and money. People often outgrow their homes and find themselves in a house that's too big for their needs, or they just want to upgrade or add new features. This usually means they have to move or do a lot of work, but the homes of the future may be completely different. By using a modular design, new homeowners could pick the rooms and features they want and have them put together in almost no time at all. If your family grows or you want more room, all you have to do is choose what you want, and it could be installed in just a few weeks. There's no reason why these homes can't look good too, and a number of design firms are getting involved. It's a niche market right now, but as technology and design improve, it could become the rule for new homes in the next 10 years or so. Number 1. Neo-Andean Architecture, Bolivia. One of the things that defines a style of architecture is how it looks. You don't need to be an expert to be able to tell when a house was built just by looking at its size, shape of the windows, and overall style. But what will the homes of the future look like? Some people think they'll be like those in science fiction with clean lines and open spaces, but in Bolivia, things could be very different. Neo-Andean architecture is a style that started in the city of El Alto in 2005. It was created by an architect named Freddy Mamani, and there are now more than 100 buildings on the skyline that fit within the style. Both the outside and the inside of these buildings are painted in bright solid colors. It almost looked like it came straight out of a comic book. It borrows from both traditional Bolivian styles and styles that look to the future by putting geometric shapes in strange places and using these color schemes. They are fun and exciting designs that look like vibrant homes from other parts of the world but in the future. This style has now become so popular that Mamani has been invited to other cities such as Paris and London to design bespoke structures to stand out against the backdrop, and it's quite possible that one will be built near you soon. The only drawback is the construction cost, which is significantly more than traditional building, but so far, the owners of the buildings in El Alto have been quite happy because tenants are happy to pay a premium to be able to call one of these structures home. This is the end of our list for top 15 futuristic homes. My divine luxuriers, we have one more question for you. What is your personal favorite house from the list that we have shared? Share your thoughts in the comments.